Greetings, geeks, and welcome to another installment of Wizards, the podcast guide to comics YouTube series. I'm Michael.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Steven.
Steven, who is now officially the third member of our Cool Corps, is here with us for Action Figure Fury. Okay, guys, so this is really exciting. We've been talking about this for a while to try to get this thing going, and we've been bouncing around different ideas, and somebody proposed Robin. Who was it? You, Adam, to propose Robin?
Well, it just happened naturally as we're discussing. Okay, what do we have in our collections? What do we have? All of a sudden, Robin. This I assumed you had some Robin, Michael. So it was just like, let's do it. Let's keep a theme going, and so it's pretty exciting. I think what we're going to show off here today. So my thought was we would start off with our loose figures.
Okay.
And, maybe let Steven, since it's his first time around, he could kick us off.
We'll go easy on you, I promise.
Well, so I'm going to kick it off with what is my favorite action figure of all time from my favorite action figure line of all time, the Superpowers Robin, seen right here with the karate chop action still intact. This was my absolute favorite figure as a child. There's a picture of me at like 4 or 5 in my Robin pajamas holding up my broken Robin action figure, missing the cape and the arm. But I just loved it so much. And I rebought this about 12 years ago on eBay. Got a good deal on it. And it's just, I love this toy so much. And what is
that a vintage cape or is it a replica cape?
This is the original. Everything on this is original.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And what's Robin without Batman? So I've got the both
Ooh.
of them right there.
He's coming out of the gate pretty strong there, Adam.
Also that action. And, what are Batman and Robin without the Superpowers Batmobile? This one's a little beat up. As you can see, it's missing one of the windows there.
They actually make the replacement windows. I've seen them on eBay.
That still works.
That's cool. Does it have the grapple in the back?
It kind of works.
Oh, God. I used to love grabbing the Joker with that thing and dragging him along. It was the best.
I've got my Joker in the other room. Yeah. So a few years ago, I wanted to collect all the superpowers. That was my goal. I had a lot of them, but through the years, I've sold off some of the more expensive ones, to fund moves and film projects and all that kind of stuff. So, but I will never get rid of Batman and Robin. They are just essential.
That's awesome. I'm super jealous. Now I want to get them and, sell a kidney to find them. All three things.
Had I known, Michael, I would not have traded them away. I had my Batman and Robin. They were
traded them away?
I traded them for some Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters merchandise, which was a little bit more close to my heart. I loved my superpowers back in the day, but I was a Ghostbusters kid for sure. All right, well, but the other side of it for me, though, when I think of Robin, right, there is classic Dick Grayson Robin. We love him. He's got the short shorts. In the 90s, they got some great ideas, and they said, how do we update Robin, make him look even cooler, have him be a computer whiz? Yeah, Tim Drake comes to the fore, and he is our new Robin. And so I have my Tim Drake Robin figure. This is my vintage. He's a little worn on the head here. You can see he's balding a bit. It's been several years, of adventures. I don't have the cape anymore. I will tell you, I used to take the cape and like wear it on my pinky like it was a ring. I was just a ring. I wouldn't even draw a face on it. It was just like cape. I don't know. I just thought it was super awesome. And I was trying to find during my Tim Drake Robin mania, I actually was a Cub Scout at the time, and we did the Pinewood Derby races, right? Where you carve a car, you decorate it, you paint it. And for 2 years in a row, mine were Robin. So my first one was all black and it had a yellow Robin on the tail. And then the second year I did Robin 2, it had but it was all like pimped out. It had like metal pieces and everything. I wish I could find them. They're somewhere here, but either way. So this is one of my surviving figures from my childhood.
That had that grappling hook backpack, right? that it came
Yeah.
with the red hook that you would shoot really far, but it would like.
This is all that survives. Accessories.
Yeah,
I hate to show you up, but I've got the Robin with the cape and the vehicle.
Oh, the vehicle.
Yeah,
I didn't have
need
the
to
vehicle.
find this harpoon that was in there, but yeah, he came like he had this little Robin jet foil.
Wow, that's cool.
So
I like it. You're really making us look bad here, Steven. But
I've got all the big guns out early.
Not to be outdone, I have the greatest Robin action figure out of the box you've ever seen. This is from the iconic, Oscar-worthy Batman and Robin, and this is Big Orange Chris O'Donnell Robin action figure. But I lost his cape at one point, but I still had the Batman Returns Tim Drake cape, so I gave him that cape instead. So it completely.
So here's the question, Michael. Do you still have the Tim Drake figure loose that goes with that cape?
No, don't know where it is.
So we can
like
come up with a trade.
Yes,
right?
I could literally send you this cape if you really wanted
this
it.
cape. Oh. All right, but Michael, I did a little research. There were so many variant Robins, right? And Batmans for Batman and Robin. I looked up what that one was called. I was like, what was the orange one? He is called Blade Blast Robin.
Okay.
Oh.
Now you officially can call him by his proper moniker.
Interesting.
Does he have the little ice skates at the bottom of his feet?
No, he's just boring.
Oh, okay.
But I don't even remember what it came with, if it came with any kind of like weaponry or any sort. I'm sure it did, some sort of like big spinning wheel thing. But yeah, none of that stuff survived. Just the figure, which is actually in probably almost mint condition, other than no cape. And I was like, well, he needs a cape. And funny story about this particular cape. At one point, my original like superpowers Superman, which I have somewhere in the basement, he lost the red cape, and I think it was maybe around the time of Kingdom Come, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Superman a black and yellow cape. So he's worn this cape for a while. It's traveled around Robin's and
community cape.
It is.
Cape. Wow.
Do you want to do the price guide on these out of the box things?
Yeah.
All right.
So we went back to, in this case, we went to 2001, this edition of ToyFare. We got a Cenobite on the cover. We got Eminem. We got Star Wars. We got Jackie Chan and Survivor's Rudy. There were Survivor action figures. I was just like, wow, 2001 was a strange time. But we went to the price guide. So, Michael, I'm happy to report that your Batman and Robin back in 2001 only going for $2.50 loose, according to the price guide. And I'm assuming that's with the weapons and the cape.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
50 cents probably is what your figure was worth at a garage sale in 2001. But since then, now I don't know why this is the case, Michael, okay? You may have a rare one on your hands, but right now that figure loose, not with all the accessories necessarily, is going for $11.99. It's sold.
Wow.
Whoa.
So I don't know. Nobody bought the orange Robin, and now he's rare.
Yeah, I was the only one.
Now, on my side of things, much more popular certainly was the Tim Drake Robin at that time. Everybody bought it. He wasn't in Batman Returns. Obviously, there's the whole rumor. Was he based, on the original casting choice for Robin in the movie, Marlon Wayans? But either way, in 2001, he wasn't in high demand, going for $4 loose, okay? Mm-hmm. But these days, he's even only now gotten a little bit of a boost. You would think that going back, this character would have more, but $7.99. That's all he's worth right now.
Wow.
But complete.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that. But now we get into the really interesting discussion here. Superpowers Robin, a truly vintage line, right? So in 2001, going for $7. In fact, you would see like the homemade heroes, right? In Wizard, they were just taking Superpowers figures and repainting them and destroying them to make current comic characters. And you're like, no, right? But nowadays, that figure, again, just there he is with the cape. They didn't have accessories back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is going for $30 to $40.
All right.
Goose? Wow. Okay. That's not
So a
bad. That's
little
good.
return on your investment there, Steven.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Not bad.
So that's pretty cool. It's interesting. Now, did you happen to see about the car and that kind of stuff too?
Well, I didn't know Steven was going to surprise us with those, so I didn't have time to research that. He was just one-upping and one-upping.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I bought Batman Robin. I got a Robin on the card that was like the thin card, not the full card.
Oh yeah, the little skinny one.
And this Batmobile for about $50 or $55.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
At a muck or just
No, on eBay.
Okay, that's cool.
A muck would have charged me an arm and a leg at that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you would. So, Stephen, what do you have as your in the box collectible or toy or figure?
Well, in keeping with the spirit of superpowers and Robin, I have the Delta Probe 1. He looks like French Canadian edition.
I think so.
Because on the back it says Super Puissance Delta Probe 1.
Awesome.
And yeah, I bought this on eBay in like 2009 or 2010. I think for like $20.
Wow.
And here's the vehicle. Since that time, my children have played with it.
Didn't the bottom open or one of the things? Yes, I did have this figure at one point.
Yeah, there's like a missile that goes here.
Yeah,
again, my kids have played with it so much. And yeah, it drops out on people. And yeah, here's the lever back here.
Wow.
So yeah,
I remember that.
And yeah,
well, it has pinchers, right? So that very back thing we saw, it actually closes up, and you can hold a bad guy in the back.
Yes, yeah, and I believe, oh yeah, I have the instruction book in here as well.
Do you really?
So it was pretty cool. I had this as a kid as well. I had to rebuy it. I love Robin, so I wanted to get the Robin vehicle, and the superpowers vehicles are typically pretty expensive. So to get one for like $25, I had to do it.
Yeah, and it's a fun follow-up because I did mention that in the last edition that along with that Lex Luthor, my mom brought me home an in-the-box Delta Probe 1, so I'm very familiar with it as well.
Why did they call it Delta Probe 1? Do you guys remember? Like, is there a significance to that name?
I don't know. It's a really strange vehicle.
Part of a submarine, really. Right?
Yeah, it's like a spaceship. Part of me wonders if it was just they built the seat too small and they were like, well, what small figures do we have? It's like, well, there's Robin and Flash fit in here, but the bigger guys not so much. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess they thought Robin needed a vehicle and a motorcycle wasn't good enough, so why not this weird bubble dome yellow spaceship?
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
I dig it.
Adam, what do you have as your in the box item?
Well, now here's the thing. So I didn't have another in the box item that was related, to that era or those teen sidekicks or anything like that. But I said, what about a boy hero? There was another boy hero that existed in the early 90s and captured our hearts. I know he captured mine.
Whaleman?
That was Bartman.
Yes.
I was close. Yes. That's awesome.
Very good.
Very
good. Yeah. So this is very special to me because I remember very specifically the day that I went over to this comic book store that was near our local big super mall called South Coast Plaza, and I didn't know this comic store existed, and I walked out the doors. I was like, Mom, there's a comic store right there. And so I went in, and I was super into buying Simpsons Illustrated, the magazine, the trading cards, the series 2 of the trading cards specifically. And so I walked in and I saw this, and I was like, wow, I remember seeing these on the shelves at Toys R Us, but I never bought them. And Bartman was just always from that episode so iconic to me. And I've always hoped they would I think they did bring him back eventually in later seasons, but either way, I love the comic and all that. So
what does the thought bubble say on it?
It says, "Your history, Nelson." But yeah, so this was very special to me, and I've always treasured it and held on to it. My daughter today was saying, "Can we open that?" I was like, "No,
not a chance."
This one stayed in the box forever. So yeah, so very special, Bartman.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Awesome.
So I had mentioned in our after holiday special that I went a little bit crazy and bought a bunch of things through a guy on Facebook Marketplace. And one of these is a figure that I had as a child. And there's a picture of me asleep on a recliner or lazy boy holding this same figure. And it is this guy.
Nice.
I saw it and the guy had it. And I was like, I want this one. And I said to him, I'm going to buy a bunch of things, but this is number one on the list. So he gave me a really good deal on it. And then I bought like 7 or 8 other things on top of that. But I'm just, so thrilled to have this in my collection. I know this is, essentially the redo of the one that Steven has, but it comes with the Batarang. It comes with, I didn't even know it came with a little grappling hook. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But then on the back, it has the Mr. Freeze, which I used to love that figure. The Riddler. I had this penguin, not the black and white one that they did for the Batman Returns movie.
Yeah.
And then there's my favorite, the Lex Luthor with the ring. With the I had all of these except for Wonder Woman at the time. So I don't know why.
Yeah, and I had them all except for Wonder Woman, and for some reason, the Riddler was the one I always wanted. With his little scroll, like he was just so mysterious to me. I always wanted.
Did you ever have it, the Riddler one?
I haven't gotten it yet. No, one of these days.
Do you want to see a surprise?
Uh-oh.
This guy Joe Haddock that I got these figures from also had this.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, and
accessory ever, honestly, that scroll.
Yeah. It's the funny thing about it is it's behind him. Like you wouldn't even know that it's there unless you like open the packaging. And I'm like, it's so weird. But this was another figure that I too as a kid always wanted but never had. And then I was like, well, if I'm getting the Robin and he had the other one, I'm like, just get them both and call it a day. And thrilled to add it to my collection. So.
I have to say that line was one of my favorites as a kid because I loved superpowers, but it came out when we were super young.
Yeah.
And then there was a lull, there was a gap, and the only toys I could find at Toys R Us were like Darkseid and his minions.
Mm-hmm.
So for a couple of years, that's all I had. And then one day I go to Child World, and on this shelf I found Superman. And then it became my goal to collect all those figures. And I remember buying that Robin at Heroes World Comics in Levittown, New York. It was like behind the shelf, and I had to specifically ask for it. Great day. It was a great day.
So,
well, let's see. I don't know if you remember what you paid for your Robin back in the day, or if Michael remembers currently what he paid for. But let's take a look here. So, working backwards here with that Toy Biz DC Superheroes Robin. Back in 2001, it was valued at $12, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But it was valued more than the Superpowers one. I find that so odd.
Maybe because of the accessories?
Yeah, possible. Well, maybe, or maybe it was just like harder to find. Maybe it wasn't as popular as we thought, back in the day. I mean, Steven, if you had to find it behind, a counter somewhere to buy it, maybe it was, in demand. But nowadays, it sells for about $20 in the box. Just
nice.
So. You got some value there. My Bartman. All right, this is another mystery to me because back in the day, and this is one that also was a couple years old when I bought it. So I remember like buying it at that comic shop, and I paid a little bit more than normal, right? And so back then it was going for $30 in 2001, and it had like recently gone up in value. So Simpsons merchandise was getting hot. But nowadays, like number one, it was very hard to find any auctions for it anyway, of people having sold it. And the one I did, it sold for just $17.
Huh.
I found that very hard to believe that it would only be valued at $17. But it's possible it's very common and everybody bought the Bartman and nobody bought the rest of the line. And so that's why the other characters.
I mean, I don't remember ever seeing it, let alone and that packaging you have is near mint. I mean, like it looks like it's just out of the store. So
yeah,
interesting.
My brother and I had that whole line. We got it for Christmas 1990. We had the couch.
Oh, the couch.
Everything. Yeah. It's all gone.
Oh man. Now your glorious Delta Probe one, Steven. So back in the day, you know, these vehicles, right? That was a big deal to get a vehicle, and you paid more at the store for them.
Sure.
According to ToyFare in 2001, it was valued at $30. So same as my Bartman, Delta One Bartman. What are you going to buy? You know, make your decision. But nowadays, it has gained a little bit of value. Again, probably for rarity's sake, $45.
Oh,
All right.
there you go.
Is your French packaging, does that make it a more premium item? Who knows? International.
Yeah, who knows? It's also a little beat up. So
Now, one thing I had to bring up, guys, since we are having our Robin theme, in the back of this issue is a Chris O'Donnell interview about his Batman Forever action figure.
oh, nice.
Oh, what does it say?
So here are the 4 questions they asked him. First, do you like being an action figure? That's got to be your first question.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I had them send me one of each so I could give them to my kids to play around with someday. Next question. How close is the action figure to the real you? The ones I had were scary. They sent me the first ones and they looked too much like me. I needed them to change the nose or something. I don't want them looking exactly like me. Kind of a weird nitpick.
That's weird.
And then they asked him, what action figures did you play with? Big time into G.I. Joe, the big ones. My little nephew pulled the heads off all of them. They were just arms and legs and stuff everywhere. But I love those things. And last question. Won't your kids take your new figures apart? I don't think you can. They're little solid pieces of plastic. I don't think you could rip a limb off them if you wanted to.
You don't know the kids very well. Chris O'Donnell. It's kind of weird to hear Chris O'Donnell talk about his kids when he played Robin, who was supposed to be a kid in the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure they were very young at the time. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Now, guys, speaking of destroying things, I have a little bit of a discussion point I wanted to bring up for you guys. You know, we're a comics podcast, and I have encountered recently an issue in buying back issues. Okay. And I want to know if you guys ever encountered this. Okay. So recently this never happens, but at my local thrift store, they had comics, and they actually had 2 vintage trade paperbacks of the Dark Phoenix saga.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I was super excited. I'm like, this is cool, man. I'm going to read these. I'm going to check them out. So I start reading through the first few pages. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. And then I get to something like this. Hello. So somebody started chopping out figures, right? And I'm going through, I'm like, well, that was a weird, maybe he just like snagged the page, it got ripped. Then I come in here, hello,
What?
how you doing? Like,
What?
it go through the rest of the book, and it's constant throughout here. Like every 10 or 12 pages, he's cutting out figures. And I was like, what was this art project? And it was the same in here, you know, like I just go through, and there we got more and more holes. And so I just
How much did you pay for these 2 books?
luckily they were like 50 cents a piece.
Okay, good. Okay,
All right.
Still, it's not the complete story. I can't read it if you cut out Kitty Pryde or whoever this guy was upset. But then I was like, okay, well, that was kind of old. Maybe they thought it was junk. Maybe he didn't. It was for some school project. My favorite heroes. He cut them out. But then recently, I got a copy of Gen 13 #1, right? And I guess for the price, I should have known that there was something wrong, because at first I was reading and I noticed there was a page missing, because it like jumped from one action to another. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not right. And then I get to the very end. You know, this is a very iconic style image. There's a different version in the book itself. And whoever owned this book previously ripped out that image. Okay. And it used to be over here, and it is not there anymore. So this book is worthless. Like, I can't read the full story. It's been desecrated. So my question to you guys is, have you ever encountered that in a back issue that you've purchased, that it's just people cutting out pictures from the comics?
Steven, you go first.
No, I can't say that I have. Not to that degree. Like, I've certainly bought back issues that were a little damaged, but not where they're almost like, it looked like an X-Acto knife, right? That yeah, I've never seen that.
It was specifically cut. Yeah.
Yeah, no, never. I've never seen that.
So a few years ago, I made friends with a guy who had an Etsy store making coasters out of comic book pages, and he'd use an X-Acto knife, and he would cut out panels and make them into coasters. And I have a couple of them here.
But did he sell the comics after he cut out the panels? That is the question.
That is a good question. I don't know. I assume not, but I had him make a lot for me. I made about 200 of them or so.
Wow.
I was originally going to do them as like giveaways at our wedding, like at the place settings and stuff like that. But then my wife said no. So now I have them sitting in a box in my basement. And so
Michael, I have an idea for you though on this.
oh,
Maybe you've already thought of it.
I have a big plan.
For your
So
bar?
yes. So
Okay.
my plan is you know, I'm going to be building a bar at some point, and the top of the bar is going to be all of these tiles with the panels, and put it all together, and then I'm going to pour clear epoxy over the top to seal it in forever. So every single spot you look, there'll be a comic panel of something, different characters, and so on and so forth. So
Well, it feels
That's
like you
awesome.
could do a backsplash too, because I don't think 200 are going to fit just on the bar top. So,
I
or like,
thought
it's going to be pretty big.
I thought about that also because I'm very into like chess. I bought white and black chess like tiles that are like 2x2s, and I was gonna make a border of it be the comics tiles, and then use my super like DC and Marvel chess pieces as the chessboard around it, type of thing. So that's
That's awesome.
my plan. At some point in my life, if I can get a month to do some sort of construction on and build that stuff. But yes,
That's awesome.
Well, here's what I'll say then. So down in the comments below, why don't you guys tell us, A, have you ever encountered people purposely cutting images out of comics that you purchased thinking you were getting a complete issue? Again, I don't mind the cover being off. I still got the whole story inside, but the rest. So now, if you also have creative ways that you have used comics, we want to hear about that in the comments below as well. What art projects have you done?
textbook covers in high school.
Yeah. So with that, though, we want to thank everybody so much for joining us for this edition of Action Figure Fury. Certainly not the last. Obviously, Steven's got more to show us. Michael has his huge lot that's just waiting to be shown off.
Oh,
But very cool. And so for all of you who want to stay in touch with us, even just share your pictures with us of your figures online, maybe you holding them as a kid, like we talked about, we got those figures. Go ahead and go to Twitter. You can check out @Wizards Comics. Go to Instagram. You can check out Wizards_comics. If you're not subscribed here, make sure you're subscribed here. There's so much more that we are excited just to have these types of chats and then share them with you. So please be involved, and also make sure you subscribe over to the Retro Network as well. They're doing some pretty cool new programming this year. If you haven't checked out their old stuff, be sure to do that as well. They're a great home for us. They've been a great support and continue to be.
I've also noticed they've been making teasers for our shows that pop up on YouTube and various. So I'm like, whoa, like this is like a minute-long little teaser. That's cool. I like it. All right, it's pretty neat.
Definitely.
So since we did our most recent Action Figure Fury, which you've just completed watching, a few interesting things have happened. First, Steven had sent me this in the mail. So now I actually have the figure once more. And I am super excited and super thankful to Steven for sending this to me as a total surprise. I did not know it was coming. It was a shock, and I'm excited. And this other Robin that I had, this, Blade Blast Robin or whatever. So I've had this cape on him for so long that I didn't realize he's got these little holes in his back. And then I was looking up the pictures, I found that he has this accessory, which I had attached to a different action figure. And it doesn't clip. Like, it's supposed to have these little things that clip onto his back, but it doesn't clip in there. Apparently the cape went here, the original cape, which was a plastic thing that I'd never seen before. I don't remember having it, but this thing did this. It had a little grenade launcher of some sort that was a button that you would press. But, oh, that's what it did. I get it now. Oh, wait a minute. This is how it worked. So it went in his hands like this, and then you squeeze this. That's how that worked. I didn't realize. Who knew? And that is the Blade Blast Robin accessory. Pretty interesting. Seems like a ridiculously large, weapon or tool or whatever you want to call it for him, but There it is. That's the Blade Blast Robin action figure and accessory. Okay.
But until next time, sign us off, Steven.
Keep your books bagged and boarded.
Yeah!